continue to encourage you to invite a friend, invite a child, invite a mentee, invite a sibling. They will be blessed. One day they will think about your invitation to go deeper in God, and they will be blessed that God had placed you on their path. As customary on Mondays, we focus on guidance, direction, and purpose. Today we look at two key verses, Matthew 17 verse 20, and it says, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Again, nothing will be impossible for you with faith, even faith as small as a mustard seed. Philippians 4 verse 13. I can do all things, not some, but I could do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Amen. Amen. And amen. Saints, I want to encourage you. No matter what it is that you have before you, no matter what it is that you have set out to achieve in this year, no matter how big, no matter how difficult, no matter how scary, I want to encourage you to step out in faith. Step out in faith. God is pleased with our faith. With faith, we please God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. So when we activate our faith, no matter how small, God is well pleased by us. When we lead by faith, God do wonders in our lives. I've personally experienced, even in the face of uncertainties, every time I've stepped out in faith, stepped out of my comfort zone, stepped out of my box, stepped out in boldness. Anytime I've stepped out in faith to do something courageous, God has always walked with me. He's never let me fall. God is so pleased by our faith that He says, even if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can use it to defy your mountains, to defy your Goliaths. You can use it to achieve great and impossible things. When we learn Philippians 4 verse 13, we learn that we could do all things through Christ who gives us strength. That His strength perfects us. It fills the spaces in us that are lacking. It fills in the things that we are missing. You know what's interesting? Do you know what atheists call faith? They call faith foolish. Because you see, they're not believers. They would not use the word faith. But yet instead they use the word foolish. And they believe in the necessity of being foolish. Even then, they say you must remain foolish and delusional to achieve things that have not yet been achieved. Steve Jobs' famous quote is, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Being a bit foolish and delusional makes you imagine and go after things no men have dared to imagine or pursue, like walking on the moon, like trying to create and invent a vehicle that could carry people through the sky and fly just like birds in the sky, like the ability for people to connect all over the world through the cloud. This is what we call internet. These were things people once called foolish, but now they are our lived reality. Once you've achieved the great things others have said you cannot achieve, then we learn that delusions, or what we deem foolish, are man-made things set to limit us rather than expose the endless possibilities we have to reach limitless heights. Thankfully, as children of God, we understand all things are possible when we believe. Thus, rather than an exercise of foolishness, we call it faith. Rather than delusions, we call it believing in impossible things. It's the manifestation of our faith that allows us to achieve the things that are said to be impossible. It's believing in a God of possibilities. It's the manifestation of our faith that gives us ammunition to keep going, even through uncertainties, even when we feel a little afraid. As I always say, you could be scared and you could stop, but you could also be scared and you could keep pressing on, you could keep going. So today, saints, I want to encourage you to step out in faith. When you step out in faith, know that God will be right there with you, making ways, moving mountains for you. Take the bold step towards the decisions you have made, towards the life you've defined and imagined, towards the version of yourself you aspire to meet at the end of this year. In 3 years, 5 years from now, I'm encouraging you to take the first step. Take the bold step towards your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical wellness. Take a bold step to save your union, to save your children. Elevate to the next phase of your career. Say yes and take that step towards your ministry, towards your calling. You will be surprised by what God does through you when you step out in faith. Amen. Amen and amen. If you are celebrating something today, let us know.